Welcome back, everyone. This is Arafellin playing Magical Bringer Korona the movie. Last time, Subaru met Leviathan, had some hide-and-seek adventures, and then Yuka told ghost stories for a lot of the night, which Subaru did not handle terribly well. The night dawned into the next day. In the saloon where we had told our ghost stories, Amanogawa-senpai and I, and Sakura-senpai, have notebooks out. Even now that we're visiting the Demon Realm, we're still students. I feel bad about Belith-chan, but I want to strive at least through the cool morning hours to maintain my scholastic abilities. As Sakura-senpai ran a mechanical pencil over her homework for summer break, she related the tale of her early walk with Nyal Rototep. Wait, break ends in under 10 dates, and she's still not done her homework? Oh? Noah-chan's making great efforts in ways we don't see.
Yeah, it was a really pretty place. I would have liked to show you, too. Hey, let's go together tomorrow.
According to Sakura-senpai, Noelle oversees this whole area and gives sanctuary to the weaker ones, including the beach from yesterday. And it's Noelle who's sheltering Belith-chan, too. I find it hard to believe. She blasted me into the ocean with destructive magic with a psychotic grin on her face. That brutal demon lord. Sure, I'd like to see it myself. Yoshimi-san, are you coming too? Oh, yes.
What's up? Something on your mind?
Yes, I find it surprising when I heard Belith-chan mention it at the beach as well. For the Demon Lord Noelle to have a reign like this, it's like some kind of noblesse oblige setup.
What? Noblesse what now?
Noblesse oblige. Nobility is obligated to be noble. It's the notion that the privileged, like kings and the wealthy, should use their power to benefit the commoners.
First I've heard the term.
It's not widely known in Japan. Politicians, bureaucrats, CEOs, they only use their money on themselves. The model of the privileged serving commoners died out in the Meiji era.
Yeah, you really don't hear about the big shots in Japan doing good deeds. Though it seems like the economy is bad lately, so maybe it's inevitable.
Blaming everything on the economy is pure selfish egotism. The economy is bad, so it doesn't matter if profits come first. The economy is bad, so it's alright to walk all over people. Skimming public funds through fraud, embezzling charity money, illegally dumping trash up in the mountains, all because the economy is bad. Sometimes it's the general public, sometimes it's business, and other times it's religion. They try to hide in the shadows of something big and act as though what's wrong isn't so wrong. When push comes to shove, they try to blame it on something and run away. These are the sort that I find the most unforgivable. Overseas, noblesse oblige is a basic unwritten rule of society. Building international universities and cultural establishments sinking trillions into healthcare, the Nobel Prize is another establishment that a private individual founded. They seek the true meaning of greatness rather than simply having authority or money.
How cool! I wonder if we could do something like that in Japan too.
I doubt merely hoping for it will do any good, but in any case, let's get back on topic. It was surprising that the Demon Lord Noelle would rule in such a way as to protect the weak. That heartless and destructive Demon Lord?
Maybe you don't know since we were always fighting when you two met, but Noelle-chan is actually nice and thinks about the people around her.
She was trying to kill us.
That was then, this is now. I believe in Noelle-chan, even if you object. That's what being friends is.
How credulous is she? We just got done talking about how small-minded people can be. How can she talk like that? It's like she doesn't even know how to be skeptical. You're... How wonderful.
Whoa, Rhymeson, how long have you been here?
I see your reaction is rather milder after a day has gone by. Regardless, I am most impressed. Not for nothing has Noelle-sama chosen you. Such deep love and generosity, like Siddhartha Gautama, such a fine gift is truly wasted on humanity. If you so wish it. No, such words are too lofty for one so lowly as I. How shameful of me. Senpai, was Rhyme-san always like this?
It's me.
That was most impolite of me. I shall state my business. Korona-sama, Noelle-sama calls for you, so please proceed to the throne room.
Noelle-chan?
This undoubtedly concerns today's canyon excursion.
Oh, it's almost time to go? Got it, I'll be right there. See you later then.
Promptly putting her notebook away, Sakura-senpai vacated her seat. Rhyme-sen also leaves, giving a bow from the ceiling. Canyon excursion? I've heard nothing about that. Anyway, for all she's slow to study, she's quick enough to pack up after. It's no wonder she hasn't finished her homework for summer vacation yet. Yoshiomi-san? Yes? What were you about to say to Korona-chan earlier? It may be none of my business, but I thought I'd listen in her place. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. I was going to say you're oblivious to the way the real world works. Sakura-senpai, she's trusting to a fault. Isn't that part of her appeal? But I know what you're trying to say. She lives on blind optimism, but that's what lets her be the hero. It's by trusting in the magic that Cinderella makes it to the castle. Well, yes. Yoshiyume-san, do you feel as though Korona-chan obtained the demon sword without putting any effort into it? Have you ever thought she came into the ultimate power just because she happened to have enough dumb luck to be chosen? Don't worry, I won't say a word to Korona-chan, so be honest with me. I have. Yes, of course you would. Everyone who doesn't know Korona-chan very well thinks so. That's why they all lose. You see, to doubt means to let go of what you believed in. Korona-chan isn't about to do that. She yearned to be a magical girl for so long, and kept believing it had to happen eventually. She was laughed at, bullied, driven to tears, suffered the annoyance of her school teachers and Mizuki-san, but she still never gave up. It went on for more than a decade. Only after such a long journey that not giving up was almost crazy did she finally attain her dream, the mighty demon sword. Yoshiyume-san, you said she's oblivious about the real world. As long as you think that way, you won't be able to win against Korona-chan. Period. That's a first. Amanoga-senpai has never flung such unrelenting words at me before. She isn't showing any anger, but her cool composure just makes her severity more culpable.
Subaru! Pinkhead walked by, so you're done studying now, right?
Well, yes.
Alright, then let's play!
Hey, hold on! Before I could formulate a rebuttal, Belith-chan had dragged me from the scene. But I know better. There's nothing for me to rebut. I had never looked at anything beyond Sakura-senpai's demon sword. The one who was being oblivious was me. What an amazing room.
Yeah, isn't it though? Oh yeah, you haven't been in here yet.
Is this a banquet hall?
Yeah, they make a big production of celebrating the New Year and stuff. Won't hear anyone choking out a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, though.
I suppose not. God and Christ must be like family arch-enemies for Beelzebub. But for even a demon lord to hold such celebrations in a banquet hall... best to stop thinking like this. I've been too belligerent towards Sakura-senpai and the demons. That's why I failed to notice a number of things. I'm not so crafty that I can change my values 180 degrees suddenly, but neither is it proper to ignore what Amanoga-senpai finally helped me to realize. I can change, little by little. These past few days have proven it. So I just need to be a little more aware, enough that I don't forget. And here, as we were recently reminded, Korona is going on her hiking trip with Noelle. One of her choices is to take Subaru and Belith hiking. If she does so, she will appear at this point and take them off, but if not, they need to find something else to do. And since you picked Yuka in the main playthrough, she will not.
So, what should we do today?
You haven't chosen something?
I'm fine with whatever you want.
What I want to do? I'd like to have a look around the castle then.
Okay, I'll show you around.
And here we have another map movement event. Whoever Korona did not take on the hiking trip will be here, since she did take Yuka in our primary playthrough. That means Yuka is not on the list of scenes. If she was and we went to her, basically Subaru would talk to her a bit, thank her for helping her realize what she was missing, do a little philosophizing about the difference between believing that once someone is an enemy, they're always an enemy, or that in the way Korona does, that yesterday's enemy is today's friend, and so you keep getting more and more friends instead of more and more enemies. And then Belith has to cut in with a question about how did you get them to grow so big, and yeah. So instead, we'll go through the other two, starting with Rhyme on the spiral staircase outside Korona's room. Here, the outskirts of the castle, where I came during hide-and-seek. Atop this spiral staircase is the small room where Sakura-senpai... Hear me, Yushi, Masao, and Belith. Korona-sama is on an outing. What? She's gone out? Yes, to the southern ravine with Noelle-sama. Surely they now stand together beneath the brilliant blue sky. Ah, what a shame it is that I cannot accompany them. The anti-gravity maid twirls in midair with a look on her face like some kind of a dreamy-eyed teen girl. Does she change personalities when it comes to Sakura-senpai and Noelle? Excuse me. Rhyme-san, what do you think of Sakura-senpai? Quite appetizing, yes. I have a preference for type B, you see. No, not like that. My place is to serve Noelle-sama. I would do no such thing as rejecting the one whom my master has chosen, regardless of whether she be human. What about your personal opinion? I think her a wonderful person. Given that she defeated Noelle-sama, she must surely have a considerable degree of strength. And her guileless eyes, her pure soul, her adorably slight body, her pink hair. Ah, I do understand Noelle-sama. Indeed, she is the perfect complement to pair with your placid self, and thus are you captivated. I knew it was a good idea to plant red roses in the garden. Oh, yes, everything is in place. Your rhyme neglects nothing in the preparations.
Let's go, Subaru. She's a lost cause. Vampires have a low resting body temperature, so once they get like this, they're beyond help.
I see. But the best scene in this part is talking to Leviathan. Excuse us. Ah, she of the good sea. Yes, I'm Subaru Yoshimi. I heard from Belith-chan that you were in the neighboring room, so I thought I would pay my respects. A splendid sentiment. Now, as long as you are here, a trick of mine. You have a trick to perform? Mahjong in 4 languages. Like Tomo-san? From what I can find, Mahjong in 4 languages, that's Yonka Kokugo Mahjong, was a comedy routine performed by Tamori, one of Japan's foremost comedians, hence Tomo-san. That is but nonsense, blurted out. Mine is an impeccable mahjong in 4 languages, with genuine words and intonation. That won't be necessary. Regrettable.
Then how about that other thing? Your water divination.
C'est si bon. It's French. Water divination? I view the water flow in your body and provide advice to see you on a wonderful life. Ah. The cost, 100 yen. That's roughly $1. You charge for this? And in Japanese yen, rather cheap. Be not proud. 100 yen may yet prolong a life. How strangely moralizing. Regardless, lacking any reason to refuse, I took out a 100 yen coin. Ah, if you would. The Heisei 12 coin. Heisei 12 is the year 2000 in the imperial system that is used for official purposes. There's no real difference. Then, does it matter which you give? She may be a laid-back, own-pace type, but she's quite the charlatan. While putting on an incomprehensible front, she probes her weaknesses. In a way, I deal with her kind more poorly than Sakura-senpai's. Very well. Here, the Heisei 12. I have seen the water. What? Already? 3 frogs. Frogs? 3 frogs living in a well. One, an ignorant frog. It knows not of the world outside, yet, should it venture forth, the world will it see, with eyes gleaming, and be receptive of it all. The second, a wise frog. It knows the world is there, understands its territory, realizes that the well is where it belongs for now, and awaits the coming time. The third, a cowardly frog, hunted outside by birds and snakes, has fled for its life into the well, never seeking to leave again. The poor frog has shut itself away. The 3 lived together their way, but suddenly one day, the ignorant frog announced it would go outside and began to climb the wall. The wise frog, too, rejoiced that the time had at last come and climbed up after it. The problem, the cowardly frog, loath to be left behind, yet knowing the terrors of the outside world. As it hesitated, the other 2 frogs continued to climb up out of sight. Such are the 3 frogs I saw. The last one, the cowardly frog, what is it doing now? It seems to have begun climbing, apparently to save a black-winged butterfly that fell in the well. Is that so? However, butterfly and frog remain quite different creatures. I cannot say the situation looks very good. So, was that worth 100 yen? Yes, I found it quite informational. Come again if you so wish. And after talking to everyone available, these 2 appear in the courtyard. And we start with the dramatic BAM. Stand. Ugh, meow. If you don't like pain, dodge. It's because you can't even dodge this that a human has surpassed you. There's a clamor in the courtyard. Right when I went to check on it, Cromm knocked Nyal to the ground. A brawl? An argument? But judging by what Cromm said, this seems to be combat training. Come to think of it, on my first day here, I think she mentioned putting her through training all over again. But Cromm, I was up against thunder, nya. Dodging ain't gonna help, nya. That's no reason for losing. Damn it, that attitude! So tell me, could you beat Subaru Yoshiomi? We have never fought one-on-one, but a demon ought not lose to her. Then try it yourself! Yarwatotep's curved finger stabs out in my direction. Right then, the gazes of all present converged on me. What? This kind of had to come eventually. And yes, Cromm is quite right. These 2 have never faced off one-on-one, although there was a 2-on-2 battle in the previous game with Korona and Pleia fighting Cromm and Nyal. I figured that sooner or later, you and I would end up settling things like this. As did I. This courtyard's magically shielded, so you two go ahead and go nuts, Nya. The only rule is there are none.
Go get her, Subaru! It may be your home turf, but I'm pulling for you.
Belith-chan,
A Subaru win pays out 8-1.
you're making bets? I would have preferred to settle this where there is less interference, but having charge of the castle from Noel-sama leaves little choice for now. Given our situations, this battle shouldn't be happening at all. Perhaps we should just consider ourselves fortunate to have the opportunity. For a magical bro of justice, that's quite a competitive statement. Justice doesn't mean pacifism. Indeed. You may be a guest, but I will not go easy on you. I wouldn't want you to. Chief Knight Bodyguard to Belzebuth Cromm and Nyal. Let us begin. And so, of course, we fight. What else do we do in this game besides have plotline? Yes, this is Cromm and her normal guys. She has not been seen like this since the previous game. And there was that situation where you can fight her as a werewolf, but that's not the same thing. We did also fight her in the set of final battles on the Korona chapter. This is much more like that, although she is considerably easier here, being a fairly early game opponent with a lower difficulty rating because we haven't had enough battles to fight to get it higher, and also because she's not getting the extra power boost from the tower. The main difference is that, for one thing, she has lower stats. For another, her special attacks will not come from both sides. They will only strike from the left, as they usually would. So we will probably be seeing one or both at some point in this battle. So let's just see what comes up. As usual, Pleia has the speed advantage, even more so than Korona does when fighting most opponents. And also, as usual, she doesn't hit quite as hard and can't take quite as much damage. Or, more accurately, she has the same amount of health, but she takes more damage per hit because her defense is lower. We have Crumb's turn coming up. She is generally a very stoic and serious character. In a way, she is very similar to Subaru, as Nyal in many ways is very similar to Korona. So our level 1 special, as usual, just skip the cut-in and get straight to the attack. The usual 12 hits. And I'd say it crumbs down about a third. It's a bit too early. Pleia gets another attack right after her special attack. The advantage is being fast. And her next special attack will be Thunder Discharge. And as I noted earlier, the bar stops charging as soon as you hit level 2. It's the limiter at work. Anything above her tolerance will just be harmlessly dissipated. Just get to the next special round. And then use Quick Burst to get another Bolted Blade. Skip the cut-in. Again, this is basically Korona Blaster. You need to be fairly regular, not too fast. Of course, not too slow either, but it's a lot easier to go too fast. I believe in some of the retry messages, or perhaps when it's first introduced in the first game, Osiris even cautions you about that the timing isn't as tight as it looks. So don't rush it. Okay, here we go. I believe this was Darkness Mist. Yeah, Fear of the Dark. All the things about darkness. It's magic-y symbol. And the fog shrouding over the line, which makes things dark and harder to see, but it's really not that big a deal. Just watch closely, and it's the same as any normal attack. Ah, I forgot to quick burst. Anyway, this will demonstrate quite clearly that her charging will not charge anymore. On the other hand, if you keep it at level 2, you do have this usual random, I think, 1 in 6 chance of getting either special attack. But if you use Quick Burst to go back to level 1, not only do you get this immediately, you still have a 1 in 6 chance for this, which is at least as useful. Given that you want to be charging back up to do more specials, that's better for charging, although it's not as good for damage. Basically, you don't want to drop your energy below level 1 unless one more attack will be enough to finish out the battle. Just in case you get a random special. Anyway, she's down to low health now, you can tell by the orange health and the change expression. And the more criticals you get, the better. Not only do they do a bit more damage, they also give you a bit more energy charge. This should be enough to charge us back to level 2 again. And probably a Thunder Discharge plus a Volted Blade will be enough to finish the battle. And if not, one more regular attack after that should do it. Still getting used to the timing on Pleia's initiative rounds, especially the chips coming from the right. But yeah, as usual, normal attacks are very unremarkable. Especially after finishing out the Korona chapter, this should be no trouble at all. Might even call it underwhelming. Is that the end, or one more? One more. This will definitely finish her off. And there we go. She makes a little noise of frustration, and we have victory. And neither of them is terribly talkable at the moment. Your machine is improved. Yes, I had the output adjusted the day before coming to the Demon Realm. I see. Perhaps human ability has finally surpassed demon. I have lost, but take this to heart. For you, for humankind, such power is too great. The greater the power you have, the more you become your own worst enemy. Be sure never to forget that. And in a way, she's talking from experience. We know that everything she's done to augment her own powers has had the side effect of turning her into a berserk werewolf every full moon, basically.
You did it, Subaru! Sure, I knew you were strong ever since we met, but beating that Knight Captain, wow! I'm so proud of you!
Today, I was just lucky. Either of us could easily have won. She wasn't entirely serious either. Regardless, it's been an eventful and tiring day.
I can still keep going, no problem. What's up next?
Sorry, but I won't last much longer.
I guess we can go to bed early then. Together again tonight.
Yes, that's fine. But, Belith-chan? It's been a sweaty day. We'll need to take a bath. Belith, for whatever reason, does not like baths. And that's how Act 2 ends, at least if you don't go hiking. This has been Arafillin playing Magical Bringer Korona the movie, and this was one way to end Act 2. Come back next time and we'll be exploring the alternate route where Korona takes them hiking, and we get to see that scene from Subaru's perspective. Hope to see you then.